Hey everyone, I'm Clayfect, and today we are going to dive right back into the world of the unseen creatures by Richard Barlow. Now, we all forget now and then, sometimes we're even trying to forget some things, but did you know there's actually a reason to why we forget stuff? And that is because of this little fella. Feel free to pause and look at the pages if you want to, but for me, I just can't wait to get started on this little creature while we hear some of Richard Barlow's notes. So without further ado, let's get started.
He took 100 pounds of clay, and then he said, hey listen, I'm gonna fix this world today, because I know what's missing.
Now while I'm building up the armature, and hopefully put some clay on this little unseen creature, I will give you a bit of a spoiler and tell you that it doesn't seem like Mr. Barlow actually managed to give this little fella a name. So in order to make it a little easier on ourselves and hopefully a lot less confusing, we are going to call it the Forgetter. Now while I'm slowly building up the body and giving him some legs, why don't I tell you why I chose to make the Forgetter today? You see, I actually have a really good reason for it. Because I don't know if you remembered, but in the last video of the unseen creatures, I actually managed to make myself very unpopular with my husband, Mr. Clayfect. Now I could have gone the traditional route, given him flowers, chocolate, you know, not sing for him, all that good stuff. Or I could just make him forget that it ever happened. It was a win-win. Now, I am not quite sure if the unseen creatures exist, and it would probably be more grown-up and mature just to talk about our problems. But you guys know me. I'm an avoider and a child at heart. So, of course, instead of talking about it, I decided that I was going to believe that the Forgetter existed and I was going to catch one. However, before I tell you how that went, why don't we hear a little bit more about the Forgetter in Richard Barlow's notes while I'm sculpting the lower body and get started on the fur.
Richard Barlow, log 4th of December 1946. What was it now? It was right at the tip of my tongue. Oh, I can't remember. Oh, let's to be filled in later. For this unseen creature, I had a truly fitting name for it, but what it was must have left my mind. Though I suppose it makes sense, giving this creature's ability, let's call it the Forgetter, because that's exactly what's happened when you come into close contact with them. You forget the small things, be it a word or taking out the trash. This ability allows them to walk freely amongst us humans, using their impressive nose to sniff out any food scraps we leave behind without us noticing it. Because we simply forget that it's there. And so do our domestic animals, or so it seems. But who is to say what's going on in the mind of a dog or a cat? Maybe they just don't mind them. Because we forget they are there. Oh, wait, I have already written that. What I mean to write is that a spacer sends out low frequency purrs that causes forgetfulness. Thankfully, the spacer is not aggressive to humans at all. Quite the opposite, in fact. They enjoy being near us and can therefore become so excited that they do not only cause us to forget them, but causes us humans to forget other things. And that's what happens when a normal chore or a word slips your mind.
With how Richard Barlow described this creature, you would think Mr. Clayfect already had one of these. But apparently not when it comes to my mishaps. Anyway, let's get back to the sculpture, where I use a soft rubber shaper tool instead of a dentist tool when it comes to texturing the fur, simply to make it look softer and more flowy, you can say. But with the fur done, all it needed was some clay softener before it took its first trip into the oven, saving my progress before I got started on the arms. Now, when it came to the hand position, I actually found it very difficult because I wanted the hands to be in a sort of non-flattening, non-weird position, still capturing the nature of this apparently kind creature. So I think it took me about 3 tries to make hands. Speaking of hands, in a not smooth transition at all, I was actually wondering if you could lend me a hand by participating in the contest I have started. Because I think it's time that we got ourselves a good community name. But I am all out of ideas. That is why I'm leaning on you guys to find a fitting name. And I'm even giving you a prize. If your name get picked, then you will win one of my wingless dragon fidget toys that is designed by me, painted by me, and I will send it to you wherever you are. So if you think you can have a place for this little fella, why not visit the community tab? Also, while we're at it, like, comment and subscribe if you haven't done so. Really means a lot to me and help me out so much. And again, thank you to all who has already done so. I'm amazed at how many people we are now in the community. It's amazing, really life-changing for me, so thank you. But now I think I have blubbered on long enough about that. Why don't we get back to sculpting the head and hear some of Richard Barlow's notes.
The mind blobs seems to like every person they come across, though they seems especially fond of old people and men for some reason. They are a nomadic species moving from house to house, never truly settling down. Even though they are not quick about it, I have had one staying at our place for I literally do not know how long. Long enough for me to have given it a name and forgotten it again. It's a sweet creature, and I do care for all unseen creatures. However, I must admit, I'm looking forward to the day this little fella moves along. Mary seems especially irritated with me for some reason. If the mind bulbs purr can cause irritation is still under study. Furthermore, I have found the blankster to be quite a loving and affectionate creature. That is why when you feel something brush against your leg, only to find nothing is there, or you suddenly feel something warm against your side without seeing anything there, it is not a ghost but a blankster that shows you devotion. Being as brief as it may be, the blankster loves calm places and snacks. A theory of mine is that this is the reason why you always at least forget one thing at the grocery store. Since nursing homes and grocery stores seems to be the blankster's version of a train station, and often is where they choose their next family.
Now this part of the journal gave me an idea. A nursing home would be a fantastic place to catch myself this forgetter. So that's what I did. Or at least tried to. Armed with a cake, because who don't like cake? It would be the perfect bait in my opinion. I ventured into the local nursing home under the cover of visiting my Aunt Laura. With some rope I brought from home and one of the nursing home's laundry baskets, I actually managed to construct some sort of trap. And there I thought I was ready and I just had to wait. Though I didn't get to wait that long before the nursing home personnel came up to me and started asking me questions and said that I wasn't an Aunt Laura. Now I doubt they would have believed me if I had tried to tell them about the forgetter. So in my nervousness, the only thing I managed to stammer out was, I just like being around old people. Now I don't know why that would set them off as much as it did. I would figure that some of the older citizens might enjoy a visit or two. But before I knew it, they started talking about calling the police on me. So yeah, I was sort of trapped with a cake and a apparently stolen laundry basket. But even though I tried to argue that the basket wasn't stolen, it was actually just borrowed, I realized that I was in deep trouble. But that is when I heard the most beautiful sound in the world. Mr. Clayfect's voice. He had apparently followed me, realizing that I was up to something, and had decided to swoop in and save me when it failed. His words, not mine. I still think there was a decent chance for me to catch a forgetter. Was it not for the hysterical nursing home people? He apologized for his mentally challenged sister, apparently, and whisked me away, leaving my dignity and my cake behind. Now back in the car, I decided just to cut my losses and apologize profusely to him for everything, the food poisoning, my acting up lately. I even offered to stop my investigation. Now throughout my apologizing, Mr. Clayfect was quiet, only laughing when I told him about trying to catch a forgetter. But something magical happened when I finally ran out of words, of ways of apologizing. He stopped the car and then he kissed me, telling me that we were okay and we were always going to be okay because he loved me and he knew how much, in my own weird way, I loved him. And he believed that this dive into Richard Barlow's history was a journey I had to go through, but I was going to go through it alone. So that is where we're at, guys, and I have to say I couldn't be happier about it. So let us paint this little unseen creature while we hear the last of Richard Barlow's notes.
The memory stealer's ability could become dangerous, and it is therefore vital that we keep the memory stealer's population in check, and that this creature remains unseen and unknown to the public. Think of mass hysteria it could bring if it were to become known, or the danger it could pose if governments finds a way to use them. Whole cities could forget who they are, and with that level of potential threat, people would surely fail to see the benefit of forgetting things now and then. Stress relief, time to breathe, no matter how small, is important. And just like the mood eater is a necessary evil, the memory stealer gives our brain a much needed break. Just make sure you don't forget too much, like your anniversary. Mary has not forgiven me for that one yet. The fumbler is truly an incredible unseen creature, for good and for bad. But with a creature as kind-hearted as this one, that just wants to live a good life amongst us humans, can we truly falter it for its impressive skills of hiding itself? Not in my book, and not in this journal.
I couldn't agree more with Mr. Barlow. This creature is too tempting to not misuse, so if it exists, I really think that we should just leave it as it is, an unseen creature. Now for our little guy, I did have some problems deciding on the color scheme I should go on, but I am very happy that I chose these very calm and toned down colors for him. I think it's very befitting for a forgetter. But with that being said, guys, I think that is it for this sculpture and it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the little forgetter as much as I do. I just think he turned out super cute. Now, if you think he does look like a sort of alien creature, maybe from an 80s series, then I will give you that. But when I started sculpting him, I actually just imagined him as a mix between a possum, an otter, and a manard. So, apparently that's what you get when you mix these three breeds together. Oh god. Anyway guys, unfortunately, it is time for me to sign off. I hope to see you next time, but if you can wait until next time, why not click on the square to the right, where you're going to see an angry little keister get made. But until then, bye!